There are so many beauty influencers right now making reaction videos about Gypsy Rose and making a lot of content about Gypsy Rose on TikTok. There's one specific TikTok beauty influencer by the name of Nina Flawless, and I wanted to do some reaction to it. Y'all let me know in the comments what you guys think about what Nina Flawless is saying. Okay?
Gypsy Rose could end up back in trouble, and let me tell you why. She pled guilty to second-degree murder 8 years ago. She took this plea instead of going to court so that she only would have to spend 10 years in prison and she would have the possibility of parole after 8 years. Which means after 8 years, she's eligible to go before the parole board and basically plead her case as to why she should be out.
So I'm trying to get to the part where she says Gypsy Rose could end up back in prison, and this is why. If you guys feel like in the comments, let me know if this beauty influencer is making a valid point to say that, yeah, there's a concern she could end up back in jail. For what purpose? For what reason? I don't know. For being a celebrity after what happened? I don't know. For incriminating herself on something else? I'm a little confusional, like confusional about this. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.
When you plead your case in front of a parole board, basically you're explaining to them what you've learned from your mistakes. You admit to your crime and you say how you're going to move on and make the best of your life. And essentially explaining how you are not a threat to society.
True.
And you could basically do better in this world after you committed your crime.
True.
And they should grant you this parole based off of the fact that you've learned your lesson, you have accepted your crime, and you are going to do better. Gypsy Rose went before the parole board and did this. And as she did this, she was granted parole. She was released out of prison December 28th of 2023. Now, in this clip I'm getting ready to show you is where Gypsy Rose has went wrong.
I don't associate myself as a murderer because if you think about it, yes, I had a part to play in it. I asked Nick for help. And how that conversation started was, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said yes. And then the plan kind of formed from there. But he's the one that did the actual kill, not me. I can't kill anyone. That's why he's in trouble to begin with, because he's the one that did it. So when they say I'm a murderer, I don't identify as that.
So after being released from...
So let's stop right there. To a certain degree, I feel like this clip is an eyebrow raiser, right? And we talked about it yesterday. We went live. We've had other lives about this. You can't say you don't identify yourself as a murderer when that is essentially your charge, right? Also, you serve time and you went in front of a parole board, to show remorse and how you're planning to do better and what your plan is and whatnot. Yeah, I'm a little confused by that. I think the whole internet is going crazy over this, including TikTokers. Shout out to them. But this specific clip, I completely understand where there might be more of a concern. I don't think that means that she's going to go back to prison based on this clip, but I don't know.
Prison, she's basically saying, well, I really pled guilty to this charge, but I don't think I was guilty, and Nickolas was, or is guilty rather.
I don't think that's what she said. And we can go back a little bit. I mean, let's go back a little bit.
Nick for help. And how that conversation started was, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said yes. And then the plan kind of formed from there. But
even my mother, and the plan kind of formed from there. And you guys know that there's text messages and communication between Nick and Gypsy at that time.
He's the one that did the actual kill, not me.
So here, I think what I see Gypsy Rose doing is trying to remove herself from that situation. And like I said, you cannot rewrite history here. She played a very vital role in the whole killing. That's what I think, right? So that's just my thought. Now, that doesn't mean, I don't know if a parole board would sit there and, say, oh, without a shadow of a doubt, Gypsy needs to go back into jail because of this. I don't know. I'm having a hard time because you could definitely interpret different things.
I can't kill anyone. That's why he's in trouble to begin with, because he's the one that did it. So when they say I'm a murderer, I don't identify as that.
So after being released,
When they say I'm a murderer, I don't identify as that. Well, again, if a parole board is listening to this, could they do something about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
from prison, she's basically saying, well, I really pled guilty to this charge, but I don't think I was guilty, and Nickolas was. Or
See, and I don't know if I agree with that, but I understand what she's saying.
is guilty, rather. So she's essentially telling the parole board right now that, yes, I know that I said that I committed this crime, and I know that I said that I would be a better person, and I have learned from this crime, but you know what? I've decided that I didn't commit this crime, and I'm not guilty of it. And in my opinion, where she really went wrong is coming out and making all these interviews and having this docuseries and going all over the country, doing these interviews with these news stations. It was a bad idea. Now, if I was Gypsy's friend, what I would have advised her to do was to do one interview when she got out. In that one interview that I would have told her to do, I would have told her to state her crime and basically say she's not trying to rehash the past. She knows that she's guilty of this crime and she's trying to move forward in a positive direction. And she really doesn't anticipate doing any other interviews.
So, okay, so I understand what Lawless Nina is saying here, and I get it. Doing too many interviews at this point has maybe side-eyed the situation. You also, there are people, that are trying to put the pieces together to tell the story of what actually happened because they don't feel like they're getting the full gist from the full story from Gypsy Rose. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know.
At this moment, that would have kind of let the media know and everybody else know she was going to lay low, rather than coming out immediately and going for like publicity and fame. It's not really a good idea considering she's still on parole. And in this interview, if the media would have asked her anything about Nickolas Godejohn, what she should have said is, I wish we would have done things differently. Unfortunately, we didn't, and here we are, and we've had to pay for our mistakes, and left it at that. Anything else that they had to ask, I would have told her to just state she didn't want to rehash the past. That way, she was taking accountability for setting Nickolas up to it, and basically stated that she wished things would have been different, and she moved on. Very simple. Now Nickolas Godejohn is going for an appeal, and I'm sure part of his appeal he will be able to use every word that she has put out there in the media.
Is that possible? I don't know. If any legal eagles in the chat, in the comments, can they use everything that, and I'm going to ask maybe I have a couple of attorney friends I can ask, but could they use what Gypsy Rose has put out in the media as, towards Nickolas' appeal? I'm kind of curious about that. That's a question that I would have.
And if you really listen to both stories, his story sounds more likely. I could be wrong, but her story has changed. His story has stayed very consistent. He's like, this is what it is. And, obviously he has autism and he is schizophrenic. And really, he was manipulated. Regardless of if anyone thinks he was or not, he is autistic, and autistic people go from white or black. There is no in between. And he feels things 10 times harder than other people. So the fact that he felt like she was in danger, he felt like he needed to save her, and he did that.
The problem is that, and I don't want to speak for the autism community, I do wonder how they feel about, I always, I always wonder if, or at least I wonder if the autism community feels some type of way about the fact that people are generalizing how symptoms are or what they are. They see things black and white. What the hell does that even mean? I don't know, man. Do y'all find it offensive? Anybody with autism that can comment, let me know. Is Nina Flawless putting an accurate spin to Nickolas Godejohn? I mean, there's a lot of autistic people out there that I wouldn't say are easily manipulated. I know of a lot of autistic people, and um, I don't know. Like, I let me know in the chat, okay? I could be wrong, you know.
And from that point on, I would have stayed completely out of the media, out of harm's way. I would have played low with my new husband and mind my business. I would not have even gotten on social media. I would not have had a social media account because obviously the parole board and her parole officer is able to see all of her social media and everything everyone else is saying about her on social media. Even if other people were speaking about her on social media, if she didn't say much, there would be nothing for anyone to go after and say, oh, well, she said this, and here's where I think she missed it. So now she has opened herself up to a ton of things. And at this point, I'm sure she has gotten some advice to lay low because I don't know if you noticed, she hasn't really been making videos. She's posted a couple of pictures of her and her family, but she really hasn't done anything else other than that. So
I personally do think that she does need to lay low a little bit, because people have a lot of opinions right now, and they are coming back. I mean, you have people that have worked with the family that are piecing things together. You know, just a little bit, lay low a little bit, come back, and then, you know, do your thing. And hopefully she uses that experience to educate, especially the medical community on, you know, factitious disorders, anything that she feels like she can provide and be a helpful, you know, a helpful tool to. I also feel like I wish that some of these doctors, these institutions need to be held liable. Like, how do they get to walk away and not be held responsible for the many times that they missed the mark, the many surgeries, all the stuff that's already been out there and documented when she clearly did not have anything? Like, why can't those people, you know, lose licenses or be held accountable?
social media is also a blessing and a curse. And the reason why I say it's a blessing and a curse is because social media can help free someone, but it can also help um, prove why someone's lying or everything's going to come out in the open on social media. So essentially, on social media, she has sort of trapped herself by saying things that she shouldn't have said. And also in this podcast, she originally did, a lot of people did not see this podcast until people were posting clips on social media. So had she had stayed out of like any podcasts, any interviews, anything like that, no one would be able to say she said anything, and that way everything would have been fine. Her laying low, she should lay low until she gets off parole. So this new reality TV show that she's doing, Prison Brides, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think the docuseries at this time was a good idea either. She's in a very pivotal moment in her life, getting out, and I wouldn't want anything to mess that up. Because think about it this way. If she gets violated by her parole, all this money she's making, who is she married to and who's going to get it? If she got released out of prison, her whole mindset should have been, I need to play chess and not checkers. And everything should have been a strategy. And I don't feel like that was the case. Because
So is she actually Gypsy Rose Prison Brides, or is she referring to the Prison Confessions? That's what I thought she's referring to, but I could be wrong. Prison Brides? That's interesting. I didn't know she was in. I thought it was her own reality TV that she was trying to pitch, or that she's in. I don't know.
one thing we all know is one wrong move at this point for a gypsy could knock her right off the chessboard. So she better be very, very, very careful. Anyway, I don't know what I think should happen, but I'm just hoping that kids that are watching this don't think that if their parents are doing anything that they don't agree with or is abused, not to go get help and to kill them because they'll find themselves in the same situation. Anyway, her speaking so casual about murder
I would have to agree.
is don't think that if their parents are doing anything that they don't agree with or is abused, not to go get help and to kill them because they'll find themselves in the same situation.
True.
Anyway, her speaking so casual about murder or her place in or part in this is kind of concerning. Those are my reasons on why I think Gypsy Rose might find herself in trouble. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye for now.
What do you guys think in the comments? Should Gypsy Rose be concerned? Can they use some of this material, send it to the parole board, and could her words affect her later on? Could they use some of the material for Nickolas Godejohn's appeal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one. Rabbits out.